You know, I wasn't expecting to start the day today with a brand new Pokemon Snap being announced, but here we are. Yeah, that's right. New Pokemon Snap was announced earlier this morning at the Pokemon event, and I really wasn't expecting anything big to come out of the event, mostly because it seemed to be like right around the time that the DLC was going to drop for Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I figured they might want to go over a bit more information on that, and then maybe talk about the DLC that would show up later on this year. And I mean, I thought they might talk a bit about like Pokemon Sleep or some of those quality of life things. Did not think they would announce Pokemon Snap 2. Not even a little bit. It has been a meme for literally decades now. Yeah, that's right. It's been like that, right? We're always say, oh, here comes Pokemon Snap 2 that's getting announced today at this Pokemon event, and then it's like about, you know, something you have next to you when you sleep in your bed. Now, this was a welcomed surprise, and I'm really excited. The trailer they put out is a little over a minute long, and it doesn't show a ton about the game other than that it's Pokemon Snap, but they do at least talk about different islands. It does still look like it's on rails, as we would expect, and visually the game looks very impressive. At the end, the last card they show does kind of show Bandai Namco as working on the game, I assume with the Pokemon Company. But from what they've been able to do so far with this trailer, and they did show some gameplay, I really like the way it looks. It looks better than Pokemon Sword and Shield, that's for sure. And I've always been a fan of Pokemon Snap in the sense that it is like you go through, it's a straight level, it's pretty unique overall in its idea of you are a photographer trying to capture Pokemon in like their natural environment and reacting to each other as you observe. And it looks like they're going with that same formula, a level that you start and then you end in, and you try to capture different Pokemon on film as you go through. And the reason I say that is because before, when they were asked about this in an interview, they said that the only way they could really bring back Pokemon Snap is if they had some new idea around it, which told me that maybe the on-rails start to finish levels weren't going to work in, 2020 or even 2021. We don't necessarily know when this is coming out. Looking at it, it might end up being next year, which is fine. Like if it's like March or April or something, I think that's great. But the idea of it being changed drastically to fit in with today's current times and not being able to do with what they did with the Nintendo 64 in 1999 was a bit of a downer for me. But then we see this trailer and it looks like they're just doing it all over again. And that's great for anyone who was a fan of the original one, because yes, it really has been 21 years. Yes, right. 21 years since the original Pokemon Snap came out. We've spanned several console generations of this time, and it looks like that same formula is what they're going to go with here, and that's great. Now, the other benefit from then to now is that they have several generations of Pokemon to choose from, and while I'm not overly familiar with a lot of them, I do look forward to getting to know some of these Pokemon a bit more in Pokemon Snap, because you would take pictures of them in the original, and then you go back, show them to Professor Oak, and he would explain some of the different things about the Pokemon to you, and of course, grade the different pictures that you had taken. And that's kind of neat because most likely we'll be able to share them online. Like if you can compare your images to your friends' images online, that would be really, really fun. And of course, having leaderboards with different scores for the images that you take, like what's the best picture of Pidgey out there, right? And you see what their score is, but maybe not necessarily what their image is, I guess. Maybe you can see the image, but that would make it a bit easier to try to recreate it and get better points on top of that. There are a lot of things they can do with everything that's changed from the Nintendo 64 to now with all the online stuff and even some of the portable stuff with the Switch. We'll see what they do maybe with some of the local Wi-Fi stuff. And then, of course, you have the possibility of multiplayer, which could be it's a whole other thing for local multiplayer where you have split Joy-Cons and There's just so much stuff they could do with this, and I'm really excited. What if they like got Labo and took the camera from that we all looked at and said that would work for Pokemon Snap and brought it over? Like there's just a lot that can happen because so much has changed and, no pun intended, evolved since the Nintendo 64 generation. But like, I am really excited to see this happen. It's finally taken place after like 20 events of us saying, Pokemon Snap 2 is going to be there, right? That was always a prediction. It's actually happened. Surprising? Yes, because I said, keep your expectations low. I don't think there's going to be anything massive. And then here's Pokemon Snap 2. So, all right, Nintendo. All right, Pokemon Company. I'll give you this one. Good job here. But let me know what you guys think about new Pokemon Snap. This went up literally an hour after Newswave dropped. So I figure I'll put out a video here on the second channel. And then tomorrow we'll include this in Newswave with other things that were announced at this event, because there were more things that were announced on top of new Pokemon Snap, specifically even some information about what their next big project is and when we can expect to see it, because turns out it's pretty soon. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Make sure you like the video on the way out if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, and I'll see you next time.